Hey Youtubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything, channel likes to try anything so you don't have to. What we're going to have a look at today is the Kia Rio, and more specifically we're going to have a look at a Kia Rio, which is this one being the 2014 Kia Rio, which I think it could be a Mark 3 if I remember, or a Mark 4. I mean, obviously correct me in the comments below. But what we're going to do is take a look around the actual Kia Rio. We're going to discuss, just talk about the design of it and the outside, have a look on the inside of the Kia Rio and just talk it to, show you the headroom, the back seats, the front, the various different bits and pieces that you get with a Kia Rio, especially the Ecodynamics 3, which is what this version is. And then what we're going to do is just take it on a test drive and just give you our thoughts about what it's like to drive one of these, and also what it's like to own it, because this car we've had for about, well, just over a year and a bit really, so we can gladly discuss about the car. So as you can see, I mean, this is the more kind of not up to date Kia. It's when they did like a refresh of the whole line of Kias that are going on, and obviously it's got their new kind of design language going on from I think it was 2011, when this kind of changed over from what would be the previous mark, and compared to the other mark, the kind of previous version of this Kia Rio, I mean, you can just see it is a very good looking car. And what's so good looking about it, I mean, it's just got, I mean, the grill's a lot more, it's got redesigned headlights, the grill and everything about it just makes the car, it's just got such a good presence on the road. I mean, with it being a kind of a small car, there's just something about it. I just love the way the haunches at the back. It's got a nice angular look to it really. And what I like about it is just it's got a very aggressive, well, not aggressive, but it just looks like, I don't know, it just means business to me. And what I like about it as well is just, you get the nice alloys and stuff like that, and the profile on the back is just really good, and especially on the boot as well. I mean, what we've got on this version here, the tail lights, the rear lights here, as you can see, they're the LED variant, and this only comes with the Kia Rio Ecodynamics 3. And it obviously goes from 1 to 3, where the 1's obviously the basic one, through to 2, where you get bit more like you get kind of I think you get alloy wheels and stuff like that. But with this one, you get obviously reversing sensors, you get power folding wing mirrors, you get cruise control and stuff like that, but I'll show you that on the inside. But on the back, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it's got LED tail lights, and I just love the look that this thing has, and it's just such a, it's just a good looking car. I mean, obviously on the front, with it being the the Ecodynamics 3 as well, you get front daytime running lights, which are really nice, and I mean, you do get running lights on the kind of the other models, but this one, they're LED. Looking at also the other parts of the features of the car, as I say, these are, it's got folding mirrors, as you can see here when I press the button. There you go, which is a nice touch. Unfortunately, they don't fold when you press the actual blipper, or the key as it were. They don't fold or open or close like that, so they're pretty standard, but they're nice when you kind of park up and you just want to fold them in. You could just easily fold both of them in. Looking around the rest of the car, it's got very nice alloys. So the 17-inch alloys, and they are great looking on the car. And these are refurbed, because when we got it, I mean, they tend to be like a brushed aluminium look to them, which really look nice. But these have been refurbed, so they're kind of, obviously they've been repainted and stuff like that. So you wouldn't normally get this kind of colour on your standard Kia. These would be kind of a stainless steel look, which to some people look nice. I mean, we've got used to the look of these, and obviously they're a real nice design. You got front, and you got disc brakes front and back as well, which aids to the stopping power. Looking at the boot, I'll just get the boot out of the way. Just going to open the car just to get the boot out of the way, and obviously, as you can see, you got my kind of bag and stuff like that. But it's not massive, but it's just adequate for getting all your shopping and stuff like that. And also the seats do fold down. It's kind of like a 60-30, and it's got just some little accoutrements here, like a netting and stuff like that, and also anchor points and stuff like that for for your shopping, which you've got here. So it's it's an adequate size for the size of the car it is, and I'd say it's probably about on par with the Fiesta that we had and stuff like that. The other thing of note is also, it comes being at the Ecodynamics 3, you also get tinted mirrors, tinted windows as well, and sorry, I'm being shot here. You get tinted windows as well, which is a nice feature. I mean, we've got used to it. It took a little while to get used to, because I've never really had a car with tinted windows, and it took just a small amount of time to get used to, but you know, once you've had tinted windows, they're really nice to have, and it adds to that kind of look of the car as well. And this is just the other side, and as I say, it's just such a good looking car for, you know, for what would be a kind of an emerging brand, is what I would say, because obviously Kia, you know, it's not like the first thing people would think of. They tend to think of Ford or like your Fiestas and stuff like that. Fiestas, VW and stuff like that. But to me, I mean, I'd say it's on par with the way the Fiesta looks, because it looks quite sporty, it's quite angular, and you know, with the fog lights as well, which do come on as you you know, when you've got the during the night time, obviously when you get your main headlamps on, these do turn on as you go left and right, so you just see a little bit more of what you're turning into, which is a great little touch as well. And I don't think you get that on the lesser models like the 2 or the 1, but you definitely get it on this one as well. But other than that, I mean, obviously you've got your side indicators here on the mirrors, and that's it really. I mean, there's a lot to it. It's such a nice looking car from the side and from the back. Really, it does really kind of look good. And you know, as I say, it's got that nice haunch to it as well, which, I mean, I've had the Fiesta and I've had a Polo as well, and to me, I don't know, I just think this just a little bit more for your money, if anything, because obviously the Fiesta's a good looking car, obviously made better with the front grille and stuff like that, but to me, I don't know, it's just me, I do prefer this over the Fiesta, if anything. Obviously the Fiesta was designed to look very sporty while standing still, but this, I don't know, just looks a little bit more grown up, but it does have that kind of cheeky sportiness about it. So what we're going to do is just quickly go into the back, and I'll just quickly show you the inside, as it were. So let's open them doors. Obviously the doors open nice, fairly wide. It's not 90 degrees, but it does open wide enough. And you have to forgive, my son's been in the back, so I haven't had a chance to vacuum it. But if I just quickly go on the wide angle, as you can see, I mean, this is set in my setting, which is I'm 5'6", and you know, I've got quite an amount of room in the back, and you do have your 3 seat belts abreast, and unfortunately it doesn't have like a center part that comes down. It'll sit 3 people okay, but it's not ideal, but obviously for kids and stuff like that, you know, you're perfect. And it does have the ISOFIX points here. You do get netting on these here as well, so I mean, okay, it's not like your aircraft style kind of seat backs, but you know, for putting an iPad in or stuff like that, it's ideal. You don't get any, unfortunately you don't get any kind of power points on the back or anything like that, and obviously shielding myself from the wind, you do get your I believe it's on the 3 upwards, you know, please correct me in the description, sorry, in the comments below, but obviously you've got kind of your electric windows at the back. And as I say, with the visibility looking around the back, it is a nice open space. I mean, it's not a dark ceiling to it or anything like that, and you know, it's quite a nice feel to the cabin, if anything. I mean, the other thing to mention is obviously you got storage here for your bottles and for your drink. You don't have much in the way of, just looking at the door pockets, you don't have really much in the way of putting anything in the back as well, so you've only got that little thing there, but you do, as I say, have an area for your drinks as well. And that's it really. I mean, in terms of kind of head height, I'll just take my hat off, and you have to forgive my lockdown hair, but you do, I don't know, it's quite for me it's quite spacious, because you do sit down a little bit from you know, your front driver, and I don't know, I mean, I've been on a bit of a long journey with this car, and it is quite comfortable in the back, and obviously you do get like a nice view through to the front as well, which is where you get that lovely dash and stuff, which is where we'll head to next. Right then, let's head into the front, as I said. Now, looking at the main door car, or sorry, the main driver's side here, obviously you get your front and rear window, electric window controls, and obviously that allows it to turn the controls off on the back, so like the kids can't open it if you turn it off. That changes your wing mirrors, your positioning of the wing mirrors and stuff, and as I've shown you, I'll just wave there. That shows you obviously operating your power window wing mirrors. Just going through here, obviously you got your air vents and stuff like that, and also you got your, because it's the Ecodynamics 3 parking sensors which you can turn off. Does have auto stop start as well, and obviously that's just for kind of traction control, and that changes the luminance of your, sorry, it's just focusing on steering wheel there. That just changes the luminance on your your dash, which I'll show you in a bit, and also your headlamp leveling. So obviously when you're driving on your own, you have it on 0, and if you are kind of towing things or your car's heavier, I mean obviously the car goes down a little bit and you just level the headlights up and down a little bit. Right then, so just going through the kind of normal dash. So what I'll do, I'll just zoom out a touch so you can get the whole feel of the dashboard and the kind of entertainment area and the ventilation area as well. And there you go, you've got your kind of passenger seat area as well, where you get your I don't know, your nice kind of door metal effect door handles, and you do get your storage there, with it being like an area to put a bottle and a little bit of a door card, a little bit of a storage area as much, which isn't massive to be fair. I think the Fiesta's probably got a little bit more than this, as does the Polo if I remember correctly, but you do have a little area just to chuck some, if you're on a long trip, some sweets or some snacks. Right, obviously you've got your glove box here, which has the actual owner's manual here, and it's quite big. Just to show you what's going on there, it's quite a large glove box really. You can fit in quite a bit. I don't know if it's I think it is, you can actually get it. It is a kind of aircon, so if you put cans of pop in there, you can keep them cool by putting them in there and leaving the aircon on. So it's quite a nice little feature there. So just going through the rest of it, I'll just put it on normal. Let's start from the steering wheel. With this again being the Ecodynamics 3, you do have kind of cruise control going on here, which is really nice on the motorway, and especially when you're on a long trip. Believe me, I've used, when you compare it to something like the again the Fiesta, which we've had, which was okay in the motorway, but when you've got cruise control and obviously the road's nice and quiet and stuff like that, the miles just melt away with this. So it's a nice little feature there, and obviously it's easy to put on. You just put that on. I think you get to your miles per hour, click down to set it, and then obviously once it's set, you can go up and down to increase or decrease the speed, and then you can just cancel it and turn it off and stuff. I mean, it's kind of a roundabout way of doing that. And also you get your nice controls here, where you've also got auto wipers as well. So when it does detect any rain, once it's set on the auto part, the wipers will go either slower or quicker depending on the rain. Hit and miss for me. I mean, it does work. I mean, I've used it a few times, sorry, and it's okay. It's not amazing. I mean, it does work, but I don't know, I just tend to use the intermittent, but it is a good feature. On the left, obviously you've got your lighting controls here. You turn on for your lighting, your headlamps and stuff, or your side lights, and also again you have what is known as automatic. And again, when it starts to, if you leave them on, if you go into tunnels where it detects it's a little bit dark, it will kind of turn the lights on or turn the headlamps on depending on the level of darkness, and also it'll turn them off if it's a bright day like it is today. Also, let's just quickly look at the entertainment area, as it were, the radio and stuff like that. It does support Bluetooth. It does support Bluetooth and stuff like that, so you can make and receive calls on it, and also you can play your music on there. Though, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I can only compare it to my Micro at the minute, because that's the only car I've got which has Bluetooth, Bluetooth stereo and playing your music through your iPhone and stuff like that. And it's not as loud, and you do have to turn it up, but I mean, obviously each manufacturer has a different way of doing it, but it does work, and the calls, obviously making and receiving calls, are okay. And you do have certain features where you can play your media via this here, where you can put your aux in, and also you can put your USB, I think it's USB 2 I'm using here. And also, as you can see here, just to quickly feature it, you do get two 12-volt adapters as well, so obviously you can plug in chargers and stuff like that using any kind of adapters that you could plug into here, but it's quite handy that you get two, really. It's really nice. Here, if I just quickly turn the electrics on in the car, you do get obviously you get all your kind of controls here for your ventilation, which is great. I mean, obviously they're easily accessible. They're in this kind of piano sort of key kind of feeling, and you can change the modes that you got going on here. So obviously you can have air circulating to different parts or different vents of the car. You can increase or decrease the fan speed, and obviously you can have it a little bit hotter or warmer. Aircon's activated via that. If it's obviously a cold day, what will happen, it does the front screen to kind of get rid of any moisture that's on the screen or any kind of fog. Turn that off because it's getting loud. Get rid of any kind of fog and stuff like that, and it's all right. And also you got your rears as well, which activates the rears out there. And yeah, they work great. The only gripe I have with this, which is it's got like an automatic aircon feature, which once in the winter it starts to kind of control the aircon, and every time you press this, it keeps flashing to say it's auto, and it's a great feature. And obviously I'm guessing it's only available, you know, on the higher spec cars, because I think some of the lower spec cars like the 1 or 2, it is more human controlled or more user controlled, as it were. But sometimes it can be a bit of a pain, because all you want to do is just turn off the aircon, maybe save a little bit of fuel, and maybe it's not that hot and you don't feel like you need it. So, and the car kind of fights with you. And what I've always found, that either you have to turn on the air recirculation to get that aircon off and on, or you just have to live with it, really. And that's my only gripe with this. Other than that, it's been great. Obviously that locks all the central locking off and on, and that does turn on as you move forward. So as you start to move forward, you'll hear all the doors lock, which is again a nice little feature. Moving down, forgive the slight mess here of masks and stuff like that. The Ecodynamics C3 also comes with heated seats as well, which is a great little feature. Let me get that out of the way. Which is a great little feature as well in the winter, because they do work, and they work really well, and you do get a hot bot after about 5 minutes, and you do find yourself turning them off quite quickly, or at least turning down. I mean it's an okay day here. It's what is it? It's 9 degrees outside, so I mean I can feel it starting to warm up now, so it's not needed. The other feature as well is that it is 6 gears, which is great. I mean, I always feel that cars, especially diesel cars, and especially like the Fiesta that I've featured, I'll pop a card there or a description. I'll pop a link in the description below of our review of that. You do get 6 gears, and if you've got a car that's got a diesel engine or any kind of petrol, and it's over a litre, or say 1.3, and this one being a 1.4, you know, when you're on the motorway, you put it in 6 gear and it's just smooth, it's just nice. And I do feel that obviously the 6 gears is now becoming more of a kind of an amount of gears that a lot of cars tend to feature now, and I think it's a great thing that this car has it, and it adds to the economy of the car, and also the smoothness, because your engine's not doing, you know, higher RPMs. It is just working well. So just to say, I mean, obviously the cabin, it's a nice area to be in, and you know, I love the look of it. Obviously you got your kind of leather effect steering wheel, you got all your features here for taking and receiving calls, making and receiving calls, and obviously you can control the you do have steering controls for the radio and stuff like that going on there, or CD or whatever you're playing. You have a little area here just to pop any knickknacks and stuff like that. And that's it, really. Obviously, just looking at the instrument binnacle here, it tells you goodbye, which is nice. You don't get that on many cars, but you probably do get more on modern cars now. And when you turn it on, you do get, obviously, cycles through all the bits and pieces that go on. To the left, you do have your, you know, if you've got any issues with the car, it will say it there. And you do have all kinds of, if you click on the trip, which is oops, I keep putting my finger in the camera, sorry. If you click on the trip, you do get you can cycle through the different things that, you know, the computer can feature, which is like how many miles you've done, how many miles you got left till empty. And if you're asking how many miles, this costs about £45 to fill up. We get about 400 miles on a normal day. on the motorway you probably got a bit more than that, but you know, it's been quite economical really. And saying that, on the motorway I did a recent like, just to give it a bit of a stretch its legs a little during what was lockdown, or what is lockdown, and it's done it about 70 miles to the gallon, 65 to 70, which has been pretty good. So, well, we'll say conservative, about 60 to kind of late 60s. It's done that really well, and it sustained that for quite a while. Going around the doors, I'll go back to what it was, which is only what this car's done more recent. Fuel economy's been about 40 to 50, so again, not too bad really. I probably would expect a little bit more, but you know, again, I'm coming from a micro here really. In comparison to the micro, this thing is night and day. I would have this over a micro any day. So just to say that. In terms of visibility, you know, it's really good. You know, you don't have any problems with kind of seeing what's going on. I mean, that pillar at the back, it's quite thick, but again, I've never had an issue with it. And if anything, out the back, though it does take a little bit to get used to with the darker the tinted windows. In the summer, it's great, and you know, it's an added bonus really. But the visibility on this is brilliant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take it on the test drive, or I'm going to take it for a drive. I'll pop another camera in just to the left, and I'll talk about what it's like to drive and what it's like to own. You do feel like you're quite costed in the actual car, which is fantastic. It is a great feeling. You know, you kind of sat back, and the positioning of the steering wheel, and you know, the driver's position, it's nice. And the seats, the one thing I didn't mention in the either early in the video or the previous video, when you do the walk around, or the part of the video where I walked around the car and talked about the inside, the one thing I didn't mention was the seats. The seats are comfortable, and they don't dig into your back. They're nicely bolstered, only a little bit here and there. They're not kind of tight or anything. They're just comfortable. So it is a comfortable car to be sat in, and for a long journey down to the likes of Birmingham that I've done, it's been phenomenal. So it's a great car so far. Driving it is smooth, it is quiet. The only thing I will say, and I mentioned about the alloy wheels, them being kind of 17-inch alloy wheels, which is a nice feature on this car. But what I will say, you do feel every bump, lump, and what, you know, especially if you've got like quite a pothole, you do feel the potholes really bad. And obviously with them being quite a big alloy and quite a thin wheel, you do notice, obviously you do crash over them, as it were, not like a car with a smaller wheel and a bigger tyre, which you'll probably find a lot more comfortable to drive. But with a kind of a bigger wheel, more thinner tyres, you do tend to feel everything that goes on. Now, it isn't the loudest. I mean, I'm kind of going back to the tyre thing in a sec. It isn't the loudest engine car. It's nice and smooth really, and it goes off really nice. And if you want to suddenly accelerate, you know, you do hear the engine at speed, as it were, but it's not bad. It really isn't bad. I mean, it doesn't, you know, especially when you're doing like motorway miles and stuff like that, you will notice. You do, obviously it's not loud. Obviously you can hear it on the motorway, but it doesn't go in the cabin too, you know, it doesn't intrude on your driving, which is great. But going back to the tyres, you do hear a little bit of tyre roar going in. Now again, that might be down to the actual tyres themselves, the size of the wheels and the tyres, and you might get it less on like a lower spec car where the tyres are either steel wheels, which I don't know if the Kia Rio has steel wheels, or that you do hear them a bit less. But in terms of driving, it is a nice, stable car to drive. It's not wallowy, it's not kind of wafty or anything. Well, there's a bit of waft that goes on. It's not like jittery like the Fiesta, or like agile like the Fiesta, but it's just nice. And people do comment on these with the steering being a little bit vague, and there is some vagueness to the steering, but I just think it adds to the kind of cruiser feeling that you get in this kind of car, because it's not the most, I don't know, it's not 100% exciting where, you know, every day is filled with, like, you know, you can drive down a B road and, you know, you'll put that smile on your face. It's just nice, and that's what I like about this car. I mean, especially if you've had a long day at work, the last thing you want to do is kind of be hammering it down a B road, and then you know, it's not that kind of car. It's just a nice car to drive. In terms of reliability, I've spoken about the reliability issues we have experienced in this car on another video, because this video is getting quite long really, and it has been a great car to own really. Other than the gripes that we've had with the clutch, the EGR valve going on it, or throwing up error codes and stuff like that, it has had its issues, but if you've got the warranty, which is the Kia warranty, they get sorted. They really do get sorted. The only other elements that we have got issues with is the back tail lights, where it does let in some condensation. So I don't know. I mean, if you are looking at one of these, have a look at the back lights to make sure that they've got no condensation, and if they have, get them fixed, because Kia, they're not interested in fixing anything that's external to the car, or anything cosmetic is what we were told. Now, talking about the actual driving, sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Talking about the driving, it's got 6 gears, this, and mated with the 1.4 engine, it won't set your hair on fire. It won't suddenly, you know, you won't get sudden acceleration or anything like that, which you'll get with like a different kind of car, like anything with a bigger engine. You got to remember, these have only got 1.4. But what you do get is, when you need that little bit of power, it is there. Now I'm just going to come off at a junction. It's a weird junction, this, where it's got a filter lane to the left, and you've got to, it's just a weird one. This is in the northeast. But what it has got is good. Now, in the gears, obviously, first and second quite responsive. Third, if you're doing like a roundabout in third, you will notice it is quite slow for some reason, so you will have to go down a gear. Fourth and fifth, obviously motorway driving and stuff like that, it is it does have, it's nice. There is a little bit of response on the motorway, there is a bit of acceleration that you get, and obviously when you're hitting 6, you're cruising, and it is nice then. I mean, I did as I've mentioned before, I may not mention it in this video, but when you're cruising in this car and you're using using cruise control, it is really, really nice. The miles just melt away. I mean, I was quite fortunate. I was traveling at about 8 o'clock at night because I wanted to give this car a bit of a run. There was no one else in the car. I wasn't visiting anyone. I was literally driving down to Scotch Corner, people will know, on the A1M, which is about 35 miles from where we live, and it was just nice. You'll have to forgive this. There is an accident that's happened here, which has slowed things down quite a lot, really. Let me just get past this accident. There you go. The gears are fine, except for the third gear, which you don't get any kind of mad acceleration on if you're trying to use it to navigate an island and stuff like that. So just be a bit aware of that. In terms of, as I said, when you're in 6th gear, doing 70 miles an hour, this thing cruises, and it is nice. It has got a nice, you can overtake cars and stuff, probably not as quick as it would be in, say, like a bigger engine car, but for the size of this car's engine, and for obviously the weight, I would imagine this car's got a little bit of weight to it. It is nice. And as I say, in terms of agility and the kind of driving experience that you get, it is a nice car to drive. And that quite surprised me with Kia. I mean, I know Kia, you know, they are a very much an up and coming brand when it comes to quality, the design, the look of the car, and the feel. And it did surprise me really, because you also get that mated with that 7-year warranty. You know, in a used car, as long as you're within the 7 years, you're covered. And it does transfer to owners as well, which it's just epic really. In terms of, I'm just trying to think, in terms of kind of performance, what would be economy? This car, currently it's saying I'm averaging about 43 miles to the gallon. Not bad. I mean, this is around the houses, and for a diesel engine, it's not too bad at all. On the motorway, I have experienced about 70 miles to the gallon. Well, we'll be conservative, between 60 and 70 miles to the gallon, which it is really good. You know, you can't beat them kind of numbers really, and especially when you're cruising and stuff like that. It's just what a car's for really. It's just get it from A to B, and for me, it's as cheap as possible really. Now, we bought this car, as I say, December 2019, and we paid about 4.5, 4.7 for it. And for that price, I mean, for the kind of bits and pieces that you get with this car, I think we've done all right, really. You do get a lot of added, you know, you get a lot of spec for your money for being at a 3. It's adequate. It's just everything you need. Obviously, if it had sat nav and a screen and stuff like that, then yeah, it'd be a great car to have. But my overall impression of this car, I mean, it always begs the question, would I buy it again? And I wouldn't hesitate in a heartbeat buy this car again. It's such a great car. I would buy it over the Fiesta that we've had, definitely over a Polo that we've had in the past, which was a 1.4 petrol, which was any VW product we seem to own is just not reliable, really. We've always had issues with VWs and stuff like that. But just to kind of end the video, really, this car, it is a great car. And if you are considering like a new purchase of what would be a small city car, well, I would imagine they're kind of just a small car, really. I wouldn't hesitate, and especially for a family with 5 doors, I really wouldn't hesitate. I would say this is a great car to own, and it's a great car to own, and I wouldn't hesitate in buying this again, especially with some of the issues, even with some of the issues we've had. As long as you're covered by that warranty, I haven't had to spend a penny fixing them. Just a bit of inconvenience about getting the car to and from the garages that we've had to visit. That's it, really, and that's everything. So we hope you like the video. I'm sorry if it's got a bit long, but you know, obviously this is the actual tour, the driving part of the video, and I do try and split them up as well into 2 different videos. One being, 3 different videos. One being the full thing, the other one being just the driving video, and the walk around video separate. And also I've done a kind of a talk about the issues we've had with this car video. And as I said in all the videos that I've done, if there's anything you want to know about the Kia Rio, then please pop it in the comments below. And if there is enough questions about the Kia Rio that people want to know about, and if I don't answer them, I'll do another video about it and just answer your questions, because we will be keeping this for a good 3 years now. We'll probably be keeping it for another 3 years, or 2 to 3 years. And you know, if there's anything you want to know, I've got the car, I'll answer your questions. So thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, please give it a cheeky like. It always helps the channel. Please subscribe below while you're liking the old video. And thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next video. Goodbye.